In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make a delicious classic meatloaf and scalloped potatoes. So stick around because you won't want to miss it. I did it off camera, but you want to make sure that you slice your potatoes very thin as you possibly can without, losing the integrity of the potato. It would be easier if you had like a mandolin or something like that to do it for you. My mandolin was my husband and myself because we don't have a mandolin, but it was pretty simple. It's pretty easy. It wasn't a big deal. The first hard and fast rule is do not boil your potatoes before you bake them. Do not do that. If you do that, your finished product will be super duper liquidy and super soupy, and it will not be cheesy and delicious and ooey gooey like you want. Do not boil the potatoes. I've had that question multiple times. It'll ruin the final dish unless you want soupy potatoes. Different strokes for different folks, but I would not recommend doing that. Now, with that being said, these do take forever to cook in the oven, like literally forever. Like you're going to be hungry and your stomach's going to be growling and you're going to look at the time and you're still going to have forever to go. But it is absolutely worth it whenever you get the finished product. That's why I think it's better if you pair it with something that equally takes a long time, like meatloaf, for example, because they both take about an hour in the oven to cook. If you put them both in around the same time, they will finish around the same time. And so it's like a match made in heaven, and then just whatever side, like vegetable that you want with it. For example, we used canned green beans. It'll be like bada bing, bada boom. You got it. It's perfect. The other really cool thing is you can kind of customize this however you want and use whatever cheese that you feel like you like. You can make it fancier with like some Gouda, or you can keep it chill like we did and use like a cheddar. Another thing that would be really good is doing like a loaded potato type of vibe and put bacon, some green onions, that type of thing, a little sour cream. I'm gonna have to make that. That sounds actually really delicious. One thing I will say is I wish I had did all of the potatoes that were in the 3-pound bag that I bought, because I made too much sauce, and so mine still ended up being a little bit soupy. Don't fear. I would just recommend doing probably the whole bag of potatoes, or putting less milk or half and half or heavy cream in the actual sauce, because it turned out great. It was really, really good. It was just a lot of cheese and a lot of like dairy, but it was super good. One thing I love about this dish is because it's super easy to make, but it tastes like you slaved over the stove for hours and hours and hours. Now, did it sit in the oven for an hour? Yes, but it does not take a lot of skill, and it tastes like a chef made it. I promise you, it's so good. And it's one of those sides that you might not make often because it does take so long, so it makes it feel like a treat when you finally get to have it. You definitely want to cover it the first 30 minutes that it's in the oven so that it doesn't get too brown on the top before the potatoes are actually done. Then boom, approximately an hour later, you have these ooey gooey, delicious, flavorful, yummy potatoes. Next up, we have a delicious classic meatloaf. As you can see, I'm using sliced bread as my breadcrumbs. I was completely out of traditional breadcrumbs, and so I had to make do with what I had. And I recently got a bread machine for my birthday, so I have tons of bread of all kinds just lying around, so I just thought I would use what I have. I'll link the bread machine that I have down below if you're interested. I love this thing. I am not one of those people who is good at baking. I am definitely a cook and not a baker, but this is changing the game for me. So if you're the same as me, check it out. You don't have to necessarily use it for just bread. You can just use the dough setting and it'll do all the hard work of kneading the dough for you. And then you could just, turn it into anything that you want. I highly recommend you use a more fatty cut of meat, so like 80-20 or something of the sort. I'm using 90-10 in the video, and the meatloaf still tasted delicious, don't get me wrong, but it definitely is a little bit more dense than it would be had I used a 80-20 or something of the sort. I'm a firm believer of using what you have, and that's why I'm using 90-10 in the video, because that's the type of meat that I typically purchase just for everyday meals that we have. Another thing that I did was use this bell pepper and onion medley from the freezer. Like I said, I like to use what we have. Now, one thing I will suggest is squeezing all of the liquid out of the bell peppers and onions. I did not do a good job of that. I think I was just being lazy, and so like a lot of the liquid kind of oozed out towards the end of baking. One thing you want to be very careful about is not over mixing. It can cause your meat to be even more dense after it bakes, and it'll be very tough, which you definitely want to avoid, especially if you're like me and you're using a more like lean cut of meat like 90-10, because it's already going to be more dense than it would be if you use 80-20, so it'll just kind of reinforce that and be even more tough to eat. If you're using a meat that's like 80-20, then I also would recommend you get a meatloaf pan. It basically looks just like a loaf pan, except for it has like this pan thingy in the bottom that has holes in it so that you can lift the meat out of the grease, and you can just dump the grease out. It's a game changer. I wish that mine wasn't in storage because it would have made this easier, because although this didn't have like a whole lot of grease in it, it did have a little bit, and it also had a little bit of moisture from those peppers like I was telling you before. So I wish I had my pan, but I will link one down below. Like I said, they are a game changer for meatloaf. Everyone and their mama has like a different topping that they prefer on their meatloaf, and I've had a bunch of different kinds personally, but my favorite is the OG ketchup type of vibe. However, I do not want just ketchup. I need it to be seasoned. I need it to have a little razzle dazzle. I love brown sugar in mine, not too much, but just enough to give it a little pucker in your lips. It's so good, so delicious. I know some people just prefer a traditional ketchup, but to me, with just the ketchup, it feels like it's missing something. As you can see, I'm putting A1 in here. That's a little cheat code. It gives a little something, but you don't have to do that, obviously. But I do like that. See me tasting it. Apparently, it needed a little bit more acid in it, because here I come with that vinegar. But honestly, just taste as you go. And I know different people have different preferences, so what I like on mine, you probably won't like on yours, and it's just a personal preference. So just try a little bit of everything that I have listed below, and then just give it a little taste and see what's up. You want to make sure that you have a meat thermometer. Again, I'll link this down below, because you don't want it to be too hot and be dry, but you also don't want it to be not cooked all the way and then be gross, and then you just have like mushy gushy raw hamburger meat and it's nasty. So yeah, definitely get you a meat thermometer. Game changer for both baking and cooking. After it's completely done, you want to let it sit on the counter for probably about 5 to 7 minutes, so that when you cut into it, all the juices and the moisture doesn't just slide right out. I know you're hungry and it's hard, but just give it those extra few minutes. Trust me. If you've made it this far, I just wanted to let you know how much it means to me to have you here with me. Thank you for watching.